Hi, gorgeous lights. Just wanting to put up a little bit of an energy update. We're sitting at around the 17th of August, and August is a month for investigations basically. So you will be having some investigations into who you want to have around you, your patience and tolerance, all of these sorts of things. We are shifting in and gearing up under the Get Real energy, under the banner of the relationship energy and relationship with ourselves at exactly the same time. So there's a lot of temptations to kind of, when we're in a funk, to kind of blame other people where we're at and have them annoy us. Now, please remember, and I've said this before, that all of us go through these transitions. Some people go through it faster, some people go through it slower. But at the end of the day, it's also really important to understand that we are in all of this together. We are getting hit an awful lot on the relationship energy, and we can end up snowballing into different aspects of who's to blame for this or who's to blame for that. Very, very important, because it's kind of like they were talking to me this morning about it's a little bit of a polarity thing as well, to, if you were magnetized. So, you know, when we kind of reverse magnets and they kind of push away from each other, before you flip them and then they draw back as well. It does seem to be the energies very much like that. So if you've kind of flipped your polarity and you're kind of pushing away a whole lot of stuff at the moment, please know that the universe will actually move anything away from you that doesn't suit you, that isn't serving you. Redirection is God's protection, and there's always a bigger reason for it. But it's really hard when we're human beings not to actually get really take that personally and get very frustrated with what's actually going on. So there is a need to watch frustration levels. The other thing that they're just saying to me is please don't contain frustration in your body. It's really bad for you. Find a vent point for frustration, even if it's talking to a friend, going for a walk, doing a banana peel, peeling out energy, doing things that actually take the energy off you at this period of time, and you can transmute it by listening to music that you love, being around people that you love as well. It's very much a push-pull energy right at the moment, because you can think that you want to be around people, then get in around people and go, no, I actually really don't want to be around them at all. So you can be really hard on yourself in this kind of really, they're calling it really polarised energy as well. What it's helping to do, before you get so frustrated with it and cross with it like I was getting with upstairs, is realise it's helping you to actually really peel back and go, what is truthfully important to me? What do I actually need to do for myself as well? And we do have a few more weeks of this, so getting right to the bottom of it without getting in a complete and utter funk is actually a really good thing for you actually to do. You're sorting out what you need in your life. You're sorting out who you need in your life. It's an investigation process, and you've got another couple of weeks of it before we're starting to rise up into more opportunities, energy, and less of the real push-pull of going, what do you truthfully need for yourselves as well. So make sure that you're looking if stuff is bubbling up from the past. Make sure that you're kind of investigating it and going, okay, I recognise what's coming up. Where's my new habits and behaviours I'm going to do now? I don't want to repeat a cycle. So just be really mindful that things like this come up for a reason. In the energy of kind of sorting through and allowability of looking at it and going, oh, I remember when that happened, and I remember what I would do now if I had the choice of doing it differently, but I'll surrender to the fact that that's already happened, and I'll let it go so I can move forward and what I need to do for myself as well. Very much in the next week or so, these upsurges of energies are coming through. It's been a very emotional time for a lot of people. But it's a clearing energy and putting things into perspective so that you can make a plan as well. So there is this really lovely make a plan energy, find your alignment, start something new. There's these little tendrils of regrowth coming, very much like coming into spring, to be perfectly honest as well. And I do think that if you are acknowledging it, not procrastinating, avoiding it or anything like that, then you can actually make a better plan for yourself as well. It's time to get busy, it's time to get real. Now, one thing I have noticed, and it's something that they actually just want me to talk about as well, is everybody has their own perspective and their own Play-Doh. I talk about this. And you're as unique as your fingerprints, 100%. But what works for you in your terminology doesn't necessarily work for someone else. Can you make sure that you're being crystal clear, or even to the point where saying to someone, what did you just hear me say, out of curiosity, because I just really want to make sure that I'm conveying my thoughts and my words as clearly as possible into understanding, and that will stop some of the chatter going on in your head. It will stop some of the chatter, and we're all working to get past our interpretation of what other people say to come into the realness of actually listening properly. Now, there is a really big push around this, and there, because everybody has interpretive brains, which they do, you can get caught up in being really frustrated that that person hasn't heard you the way that you would like to feel heard in this relationship energy as well. So they've given the word clarity for about the next 6 weeks for people. Make sure that you're clear, make sure that you are actually not alluding to anything but being crystal clear. And they've said that this is the best way for you to actually navigate forward. Now, the phrase for the next 6 months is navigate, so that also tells me that we have some global changes, political changes coming as well, and it isn't about being fearful about these things, it's about navigating through it and deciding how you want to turn up and what you want to do in the face of change. Bearing in mind that human beings really just don't like change anyway. We have a tendency to create these degrees of complacency, like things to be safe, all of those sorts of things as well. But you're never really going to feel safe unless you work to feel safe in yourself, or some of the decisions that you make for yourself personally, rather than actually just following along or settling for somebody else's opinion, because everybody's got opinions. So it is a complex time, 100%. Spirit has been really, really gorgeous over the last couple of days. Like, rise and shine, and remember to look for the good in the day and add to some of the good for the day. So don't forget to do that in the coming weeks as well. Take care of you, keep shining, you've got this.